one of the most influential figures in Formula One, is quietly preparing a return. And the latest revelation has sent shockwaves rippling through the entire paddock. Christian Horner, the architect behind Red Bull Racing's rise into a championship-dominating force, is actively working on a comeback that few saw coming. According to exclusive reports from The Telegraph, Horner is already in serious discussions with Alpine about re-entering Formula 1 in 2026. But this isn't a simple return to the pit wall. Horner isn't chasing just another team principal role. Instead, he's targeting something far more powerful: an ownership stake in the struggling French outfit. The proposal reportedly involves a 24% share in Alpine, a stake currently held by Otro Capital, an American investment group that is said to be ready to cash out. And the names behind that group sound more like a Hollywood premiere than an F1 boardroom. Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney, Michael B. Jordan, Rory McIlroy, and Anthony Joshua. Back in 2023, these high-profile investors injected $200 million into Alpine, roughly $354 million Australian dollars, believing they were buying into a future championship contender. Fast forward less than 3 years, and that optimism appears to have faded. The investment group is now preparing to walk away, and Horner is positioning himself to step into the vacuum. The timing is almost poetic and painfully complex. Horner's gardening leave from Red Bull expires in April 2026, just weeks after the new F1 season begins at the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne. His exit from Red Bull didn't come cheap either. Reports suggest a jaw-dropping $60 million payout. That kind of financial freedom opens doors, and Horner seems ready to walk straight through one. So why Alpine? Why would a man who ruled Formula One with Red Bull, who guided Max Verstappen to 4 world championships, willingly take on a team that finished rock bottom? The answer is brutally clear. Alpine is desperate, and desperation breeds opportunity. The team limped to 10th place in the Constructors' Championship in 2025, making them the worst-performing outfit on the grid. Flavio Briatore currently occupies the team principal role, but at 75 years old, his presence is widely seen as a temporary solution rather than a long-term plan. Horner, on the other hand, embodies exactly what Alpine lacks: authority, credibility, and a proven blueprint for winning. Pierre Gasly's verdict on the season said it all. After scoring just 22 points, the lowest total of his career, he didn't hold back. "This is the best night of the year. It's over," he told reporters. Then came the cutting follow-up. "I told them to keep the car out of my sight next year. Put it in a corner at Instone. It wasn't the easiest car to drive." And now comes the revelation that truly stunned the F1 world. In a candid interview with Viaplay, Max Verstappen opened up about his ongoing relationship with Horner. What he revealed was extraordinary. Throughout the entire second half of the 2025 season, as Verstappen launched one of the most dramatic comeback attempts in Formula One history, he and Horner remained in constant contact. Every race weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, week after week. Think about the implications of that. While Laurent Mekies was officially running Red Bull, while Verstappen was clawing back a seemingly impossible championship deficit, Horner was still there, behind the scenes, sending messages, offering reassurance, keeping alive a bond forged over years of shared triumphs. "He sends me messages," Verstappen explained. "We stay in touch, even during holidays. It's about him saying, 'I wish you the best of luck. I believe in you. I'm your biggest fan,' but also about everything we've been through together." The backdrop makes this even more remarkable. When Horner was dismissed by Red Bull following the British Grand Prix in July, Verstappen trailed championship leader Oscar Piastri by 69 points. That gap ballooned to an almost impossible 104 points after Piastri's victory and Verstappen's second-place finish at Zandvoort. At that moment, most of the paddock had written off Verstappen's title hopes. On paper, it was over. What followed defied logic. Under new leadership, Verstappen unleashed one of the most dominant late-season runs in modern F1. Despite the turnaround in Red Bull's form after Horner's departure, Verstappen refused to use that success to diminish his former boss's legacy. "I want to be careful about how I express that. I don't want to disparage Christian because he has obviously achieved a great deal in the team, and others have yet to achieve that," Verstappen said. While Horner plots his F1 return, Verstappen is facing his own complications for 2026. The 4-time world champion has been quietly building a parallel racing career in endurance racing. On Tuesday, Verstappen tested a Mercedes-AMG GT3 at the Algarve circuit in Portugal, sparking immediate speculation that Verstappen.com Racing could be switching from Ferrari to Mercedes machinery for the GT World Challenge Europe. This move could pave the way for Verstappen's long-desired attempt at the Nürburgring 24 Hours, one of the most grueling and prestigious endurance races in motorsport. But here's the problem. Speaking to media in Singapore, he laid out the challenges. It depends on F1. First of all, I'm suspecting that with the rules next year, it's going to be very complicated to start with some unknowns, he explained. 2026 brings wholesale regulation changes to Formula One, with entirely new cars and, crucially for Red Bull, their first in-house power units. It probably will be a little bit more hectic than the end of a regulation cycle, where things are a bit more straightforward, he continued. Plus, there's also the program of the GT3 team, which car we are going to race next year, and stuff like that. So a lot of things still have to come together before I can really plan it well in advance. The calendar conflicts are brutal. While the Nürburgring 24 Hours itself takes place from May 14 to 17, 2026, and doesn't clash with an F1 weekend, 3 NLS preparatory races, and the critical 24-hour qualifiers all clash directly with the F1 calendar. In total, 6 NLS rounds conflict with the 2026 F1 calendar. NLS boss Mike Yeager acknowledged the difficulty, noting that having 50% of the championship races for the entire season before the 24-hour race is not ideal, but unavoidable given current circumstances. If Horner does join Alpine, he'll find himself in an awkward position starting in 2026, when Toto Wolff's Mercedes begins supplying engines to the French team. The relationship between Horner and Wolff has always been frosty at best, openly hostile at worst. Then, there's the Helmut Marko factor. Red Bull's senior advisor has accused Horner of using dirty tricks during his time at the team, with Marko's decision to demote Pierre Gasly without consulting Horner standing as perhaps the most public example of their power struggle. So why would Alpine take a chance on someone with this much baggage? Because they're desperate. The 2025 season was an unmitigated disaster for Alpine. Jack Doohan, Australia's great hope, was given just 6 races to prove himself as a rookie, before being unceremoniously replaced by Argentina's Franco Colapinto, who partnered team stalwart Pierre Gasly for the remainder of the season. For 2026, Alpine has secured a deal to use Mercedes engines from 2026 until 2030, ending their troubled in-house engine program. Combined with F1's new era of regulations, it represents a genuine opportunity for a fresh start. The other potential destinations for Horner have largely evaporated. Aston Martin was heavily linked before team owner Lawrence Stroll made it clear the former Red Bull boss would not be joining. That door slammed shut when Adrian Newey, F1's legendary car designer, who spent 20 years at Red Bull, was promoted to Aston Martin team principal. Should Christian Horner join Alpine, or should he wait for a better opportunity? Can he transform the struggling French team into championship contenders?